Russia's 2026 summer military campaign. We're going to completely bypass the noise and dive straight into the hard data from a fascinating new report. We want to uncover exactly what unfolded on the battlefield, so let's get right to it. I mean, just imagine the staggering reality of losing more than 1,300 soldiers every single day. Now picture taking those immense human losses while gaining almost no substantial ground whatsoever. This isn't some hypothetical scenario we're talking about here. According to the report, it's the exact reality outlining one of the most significant military setbacks since the conflict began. Section 1, the 2026 original objective. So, heading into 2026, Moscow was pushing incredibly hard to frame the complete capture of the Donbas region as the absolute center of gravity for the war. The stated goal wasn't just to grab a bit of territory. No, it was to use that momentum to force a decisive, overwhelming victory before the year even closed out. But here is where we see a massive strategic disconnect. The expectation, well, that was a major, rocket-paced offensive leading to really rapid advances. The stark reality on the ground, though, was more like a stalled engine. We're talking rapidly rising casualties, frustratingly slow territorial gains, and a total loss of momentum that honestly caught a lot of observers completely off guard. Which brings us to Section 2, the brutal summer math. The escalation over the summer months is just glaring. June was already shaping up to be one of the absolute worst months of the year, with nearly 39,500 casualties. And after a month like that, you might naturally expect a tactical pause, right? Well, instead, July actually became even worse. The report details more than 42,000 Russian soldiers reportedly killed, wounded, or captured in just one single month. And when you actually break down that July total, it exposes a pretty unbelievable daily average: 1,382. That is the estimated number of casualties being taken out of the fight every single day during that month. Let that sink in for a second. Over 1,000 soldiers daily, permanently removed from the battlefield. So the crucial question obviously becomes about sustainability. At a staggering rate of nearly 1,400 losses a day, the analysts noted that the recruitment apparatus was reportedly buckling under the immense pressure to keep pace. It raises some really immediate, pressing questions about the long-term viability of the Russian war machine if these trends actually hold up. Moving on to Section 3, cost versus territory. Now, this is perhaps the single most shocking metric in the entire analysis. While absorbing those completely unprecedented daily losses, Russian forces were advancing, at least in some sectors, by only about 1 single square kilometer per day. To put that into perspective, analysts calculated that at this agonizingly slow meat grinder pace, it could literally take years to actually achieve the campaign's original objectives. All of this leaves Moscow trapped in a highly difficult military equation. You've got sky-high casualties, very limited territorial gains that completely fail to justify that immense human cost, and then massive pressure on recruitment just to fill in the gaps. This incredible chasm between the strategic expectation and the brutal battlefield reality really became the defining story of the 2026 campaign. Next up, Section 4, the strategy of attrition. Now, according to the report, this wasn't just some accident. It was actually the result of a very deliberate Ukrainian strategy. Rather than rigidly defending every single inch of territory, Kiev shifted to a strategy of severe attrition. The core objective? To wear down Russian manpower over time. Basically, by trading space to inflict maximum casualties, Ukraine deliberately forced those daily numbers to absolutely skyrocket. Finally, Section 5. What comes next? Look, we all know that tactical situations in a conflict can pivot in a matter of days. However, the data from this report strongly suggests that the momentum during this summer period definitively shifted away from Moscow. The math here is pretty straightforward. If casualty rates continue to heavily outpace recruitment, sustaining a large-scale offensive posture is going to become progressively more difficult, if not entirely mathematically impossible. Which brings us to the ultimate question. The numbers we've looked at today have sparked a really fierce debate among defense analysts. Are these staggering losses going to fundamentally reshape the entire conflict moving forward, or is it simply too early to write off Moscow's capacity to adapt? I really want to know what you think about this. Leave your thoughts below, and if you found this explainer helpful, be sure to stick around for more clear-cut, data-driven analysis. Thanks so much for diving into the data with me today.